back to WGLNA. What you just watched was a montage of fun RNG as well as another transition. And we're getting ready for our next match of the day. Our first was Simplistic versus Nerve, where Nerve was able to take it 3-0 after 4 battles, with 3 victories and 1 draw. We do want to remind people again, just before we went to the break, we showed that we were issuing a challenge to the community because we want to make more montages. And this weekend, if you have a light tank and you have a really cool clip, just submit it to WGLNA@herolevel.com, and you could win 2,000 gold, a week of premium, and a chance to win a premium tank. I don't know which tank it is per se, but
I believe we're planning on giving away a Locust, M22
cool.
Locust. It's a very cool little light tank. Tier 3. Yep, you got it right there. USA. Yep. It's a freedom tank, and it is actually quite a little powerful little tank.
That shoots democracy, as far as I'm
America.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and talk about our next series of the day. Rando, who we're going to watch?
Yeah, we are going to see Cunninghams versus Ehrmagerd Caernervern, and we call them EC for short because that's hard to say.
Yeah, it's a little bit, it's a mouthful for some people. Of course, Caernervern is, or Caernervern.
Caernervern?
Caernervern?
It's hard to say now with their name.
It's like this white van that just offers candy to random light tanks that pass on by.
I would take the candy.
It's like, hey, T1, here's some candy. Just hop on over to my Caernervern. Face-off is ready, so let's go ahead and head to the screen and introduce you guys to the captains as they are ready for the match. Welcome. Wait, who's that? Isn't that Tommy Cannon? Isn't that you? Behind
yes,
me.
that
All right,
is.
there it is. I want to go ahead and welcome you guys, so let's go ahead and start off with Ehrmagerd Caernervern. Tommy Cannon, why are you hiding behind a blanket? You're afraid to show your face? Can you hear me?
He's muted. Quiet.
I can't hear
you.
Yeah.
Did you mute your mic?
It's his mic.
Oh, Tommy.
Doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be heard. Let's go ahead and throw it to the Cunninghams. Randall, let's go ahead.
So, Cunninghams, oh, now we can hear him. But Cunninghams, I think they get to keep talking. So, Cunninghams, Captain, how are you feeling today? Do you guys feel like you're prepared for this?
Yeah, I think so. We got a couple scrims in so far this week, so we're feeling pretty good.
That's right. So, you're on summer break, are you not?
Sorta. Taking summer classes.
Okay.
Working, but yeah.
How have you been able to balance life in both regards?
It's actually harder than I thought it would be, but, you know, it's still the summer. Plenty of time.
It's still the summer. Oh, it's definitely lots of fun. Now, I want to ask you guys, you guys were a team that qualified, or you guys were able to make it through the qualifier. Oh, sorry, no. You see that Ehrmagerd Caernervern made it through the qualifiers. What do you think of their play so far? As it's a lot different from most teams' conventional styles.
It is and it isn't. I don't know. It seems kind of fun. It'll throw different things at you every now and then, keep it fast-paced. So it looks like we could have a few fun matches.
Yeah, it is cool to see that. And I guess we'll move on to Ehrmagerd Caernervern's captain, Tommy Cannon. How are you doing today, Tommy?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. You know, feeling pretty relaxed. Spent the last couple hours talking to Trouble, being part of his fan club. New strats coming around.
We have a member of Trouble's fan club.
How dare you, okay? Not only is this going to be the most unbiasedly cast match, but also I have to say that Trouble is a very handsome person. Excuse me.
You resent that comment.
I resent that comment. Yeah. Thank you.
And who do you think pays his bills? All right. So.
Tommy Cannon, can we expect aggressive play like you guys did in the qualifiers, or are you guys just gonna throw in a new series of strategies that we've never seen before?
You know, after watching some of these replays, I'm loving the camp strat, where everyone just kind of takes multiple sections of the map. And I was watching, not to diss anybody, but who is it now? Simp and Nerve. They spend the first 5 minutes doing nothing, which I love. I think that's a great strategy. You get a lot done, and you lose your T1s usually, and that's pretty cool. You don't really use them at all.
Well, they don't really count.
So I'm thinking of switching to that. That's pretty good. It's been working for us. So yeah.
Okay, well.
It's good to hear. Is there anything you have to say to your opponents right now, Tommy?
No, we're excited to play some new people. I mean, we're finding that when we throw out some crazy new stuff, that everybody gets better overall. And we know that there's going to be a lot more teams to be played. And after looking at these guys, they're looking pretty good. I mean, it was nice talking to you before, Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, a little stressed with Clan Wars right now, but we should be okay. We should be doing good.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and do the initial coin flip. We're going to ask Martin to go ahead and call it in the air, in the virtual air.
All right, so I just pick one now.
Heads or tails? Heads or tails? So a coin has 2 sides. All right, tails it is.
Ted. What?
And the eagle. As is the case. So you actually get to choose the first map, or you can defer. What would you like?
Defer.
Okay, so Tommy Cannon, you're going to pick the first map. Which would it be?
Okay. We're going to pick Airfield.
Oh, Airfield. Okay. And now we get to see
Western
the Cunninghams
spawn.
choose the spawn. And he says the west spawn?
Yeah.
All right, so west side will go to Cunninghams. East will go to Ehrmagerd Caernervern. Why do you guys do this to me, man? Thank you so much. Good luck in your matches, boys.
Thank you.
Welcome to Airfield, where we have the site for our first battle between these two teams. The red team over towards the western side is Cunninghams in the red, and in the blue, the lower seeded, but certainly not to be underestimated, is Ehrmagerd Caernervern, the blue team. And let's go ahead and throw it to Greetorp and talk about opening positions and movement patterns. Andre, what's going on? Talk to me, bro.
Looks like Ehrmagerd Caernervern is just moving completely past the grinder. They're going over close to the airfield. Really interesting position. I think they're going to try to make a big surprise attack, obviously, in a direction where normally you're not prepared for this type of fire. And here we go, Trouble 2 playing it so well. Oh my God, you're so good.
The member of the fan club has spoken, as we have Ehrmagerd Caernervern with vintage aggression. Biguk and Militant are under heavy fire. Durasa, in fact, are going to clean up here in the grinder, or close to the grinder. Militant now under fire as well. Kill number 2 has been established. Ehrmagerd Caernervern jumping out to a 7-5 lead, and A. Martin, the T-32, is supposed to get a hold down position, but that has anything but.
And he is going to go down. We have 3 tanks down on the side of Cunninghams right now. Ehrmagerd Caernervern has only lost Vect. Their 5100s will be on reload soon. T1s on the other side of the map are engaging. Silent Demise is out of the fight, and Commander J is all alone.
I guess the biggest con a T-32 has is it can't shoot while it's dead. As currently we have both of them are down for Cunninghams, and now Silent Demise, the only person that hasn't received damage, the only person on Cunninghams that's above a tier 1 tank. As we have Trireme and Caster Starwind, they are still alive, but how much impact can they really have? Ehrmagerd Caernervern absolutely blazing out of the gate with aggression that we've come to expect.
Yep, that was really, really solid play. I did not expect it to work quite so cleanly as that. I think it was because Silent Demise was not quite in position, not quite ready for that. And we actually, it might be a cap race of sorts here, because both T1s and Silent Demise are going to get on cap. We've got 3 on the red bases cap, so that is in the west side there. And in the east, we have only Silent Demise on cap. The 2 T1s not quite here yet. Here it goes.
I don't think you guys have to worry.
Yeah.
Trouble 2 is going back to base.
Trouble and
I'm pretty sure
are on the way back.
Urtai's great too, but Trouble, watch this deny really quick. It's going to come up here. He is approaching with his T69, and boom. There's the reset. Great job, Trouble.
You are just fanboying out right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Steven, of course, is in the back, and he's doing very well as he's getting the last couple of shots as Trireme does drop Caster Starwind trying to do something, but it won't matter as Ehrmagerd Caernervern takes the first battle and starts things off with huge amounts of aggression. Again, something that we've seen a lot, and it seems to work out serendipitously every time. It's like, oh, you're also charging us, except you're split, so let's just win.
Yeah.
It just seems to work out like that every time.
I felt like it should have been so easy to predict that kind of move. If there's one spot you can attack from on airfield, it is right through the grinder, and they just went straight through. And it looked like we didn't see any preparation for that out of Cunninghams. They just weren't ready. They thought they were. They just totally unprepared. And we saw a little bit of focus fire kind of not actually focus on the side of Cunninghams.
Well, let's go ahead and toss it to our resident Trouble 2 fan club president. It's Greetorp.
Yeah, guys, I mean, obviously Ehrmagerd Caernervern was able to just come smashing out of the gate. But really, again, we talked about this slightly before. We had Silent Demise going up all the way to the north. That's 8 tier points that you're willing to commit all the way to the airfield. And you saw he was slightly late. It wasn't super late, but he was slightly late on that initial engagement. And when you have that, you have good crossfire, but it takes a long time to get over there. And not only that, AMX 1390s are not nearly as capable of aiming and firing at the correct spots at all times. So it showed just a brief amount of hesitation over on that side, and I really feel like it affected it. On top of that, the T-32s weren't in the perfect position. They weren't able to just stabilize the position. Whenever you have a T-32, you have to think, I need to slow down the pace of the game as much as possible. I know you have a lot of autoloaders. I'm going to make it very uncomfortable for you to push in like that. But Ehrmagerd Caernervern was able to snap call right on the beginning when they're still setting up positions. That does say that, I believe, now I'm blanking. I'm blanking.
What is it?
The teams.
Oh.
Ehrmagerd Caernervern and Cunninghams.
Cunninghams.
Oh, Cunninghams. Excuse me.
The clever pigs.
Thank you, guys. Oh, my goodness. The Cunninghams, they need to be a little bit slower to take their positions. I know you guys were talking about how they were kind of slow to take them, but they need to be even slower, knowing that there's so many blitz plays coming out with a full autoloader lineup.
You know, after thinking about it, Greetorp, I think wearing the hat forwards is a lot better look than backwards. Just
I agree. And he's going to turn it sideways.
No, I don't like either.
No, but you're going to watch here, like, the blitz is so important, right? That's the one thing that you can do with autoloaders over something as if you brought a T-32 of that, or two T-32s, I should say. So you can see they're already going to be isolated out here super early. They're trying to take so much of the map, but they can't do it with their lineup. And this is a big problem. The AMX 1390, you can see, is super far away from this first initial battle, and that's going to be enough time to take out multiple tanks.
Well, Ehrmagerd Caernervern does take the first map. We're going to throw it to a quick 1-minute break as we get ready for battle number 2, and when we return, the series continues between Ehrmagerd Caernervern and Cunninghams. Welcome back, everybody, to WGLNA. We're currently in the middle of a series between Cunninghams and Ehrmagerd Caernervern. Cunninghams has lost the first map, but they have picked Ensk in response. And we're going into a city map for battle number 2 after we were just on a desert map. So camos change, and now plans have changed. Let's go into the battle as currently Ehrmagerd Caernervern is up 1-0. Welcome to Ensk, in the south side of the city. I don't know what kind of city it is. I'm guessing it's a Russian city. We have the red team. It's the Cunninghams, currently down 0-1, led by A. Martin, the captain. And in the blue side, heading over to the western blocks, we have Ehrmagerd Caernervern, the blue team, currently up 1-0.
Yep, it looks like we're actually going to get some nice early spotting here. IS-3s and DM Gomes are going to go up on the side of Ehrmagerd Caernervern, but I'm wondering what everyone is doing in relation to each other.
Yeah, Greetorp, let's point things out and use your amazing analysis abilities.
Yeah, right now, everybody's just setting up. I actually love what we're seeing from, honestly, Cunninghams.
Yeah.
Even though they're losing their, well, 2 T1s are going to be lost in the very beginning stage. What I like is that Ensk is probably the easiest map to slow things down.
Yeah, it is very easy to slow things down. It's very hard to aggress. So I'm actually seeing their spots going all the way around. It doesn't look like Ehrmagerd Caernervern's actually going to do anything aggressive.
No, they did lose Gomes pretty early on to a shot from the T-69. That's King Kong currently in the T-69.
Yeah,
so a nice shot down the 6 line to be able to eliminate one of the light bulbs for Ehrmagerd Caernervern.
It was a pretty nice shot there, and Gomes probably should have done a better job at covering himself. You know, exposing himself like that just to get shot. They knew he was there, and it was really too bad for him. You can really do a much better job at spotting down the 6 line without getting yourself killed.
Playing straight into the hands of Cunninghams is not what you want to do. Because they have a college degree, man. They know what they want to. They know what's up. They know the future.
And here we actually see 2 IS-3s, Militant and Trireme, are actually moving around, taking the farthest back they can on the K-line here to avoid getting spotted as they transition to the east.
Ooh.
They're getting out of the west side of the map.
They're spotted, though.
They
are spotted. 2 King Kong and I can't see who the other person is.
I believe it's Militant. Yeah, Militant was spotted as
Yeah,
well,
you're right.
so the movement from Cunninghams has been exposed. Ehrmagerd Caernervern is going to respond by slowly taking the E blocks and continue to, well, actually, they're kind of rearranging, and some of them are grouping together. Meanwhile, Cunningham's still pushing very aggressively over towards the lumberyard, where we used to see lots of action around here, but it seems most teams tend to favor the city initially. Now they're rotating over.
Yeah, so that T1 Whiskey Dot out in the east, he's going to be the next guy who will spot this movement out of Cunningham's as they cross both IS-3s leading the way into the lumberyard. I'm going to need to know when those guys get lit, because the second
They're
that
already
happens,
lit.
they are lit. Oh, there we go. That's what
Oh,
I'm
man.
expecting to see, some movement out of Ehrmagerd Caernervern here.
They're going to respond by rushing back to the scene. Whiskey Dodd coming through in the clutch, but he's also lit up, so his time on the field of events might not be that much longer, but we're still going to see the charge. Now you can initiate a stack along the piles over into the base. The first shots have been fired, but only person to get damaged is Trireme.
And King Kong shot those. And remember, he's in the T-69. The IS-3s want to be the ones shooting out at that T-1. Unfortunately, we are going to see a little bit of clipping from that T-69. That does give Ehrmagerd Caernervern enough time to really move in and also get the KV-5 out there.
Commander J looking for Whiskey Dodd. Whiskey, one of the best scouts in North America, going to try to get out of there in time, but I don't think he can outrun this scenario as King Kong is able to finish. Now that does buy Ehrmagerd Caernervern some time to be able to rotate back to their base. Are they in position though, Rukil? What do you take on the current positions?
I'd say Cunningham's is in a really weird position right now. You can't really aggress this as Ehrmagerd Caernervern. You can't. You just can't cross that open. Even your own cap you can't cross. And it looks like with this kind of dispersion to the north, Ehrmagerd Caernervern might try and go for something on the cap. They might put one of their 5100s over there, have him cross in the south maybe. That would be an interesting distraction to see, as the rest of the team would stay back and shoot anyone who's crossing in the open. But it looks like because Whiskey Dot took so long to kill, that Cunninghams has decided not to continue their forward motion, and they're going to kind of slow things down. And it looks like their autoloaders are going to get into position to... Ooh, nice shot.
Urtai taking a couple of hits, but he did manage to trade with Trireme. IS-3 on IS-3.
Yeah, that Trireme is down to 752 health. That could be quite something in a fight. IS-3 is supposed to be here for tons of health as a nice damage soak and a good chance to bounce, but if he's at 752, he can't take much. Luckily, Militant is still full health.
That's right, and that will allow Cunninghams with some hits that they can absorb. DeRosta trying to get a spot on B-Gug, but he whiffs as he's not able to finish the T1. But still, both of the T1s, B-Gug and A. Martin 223, the captain of the Cunninghams, are both hanging back. Ehrmagerd Caernervern still spread all over the western side of the map, because in the end, they can't really make too many moves because they are outnumbered. And the lights are too easy for them to get spotted and get shot down. A. Martin are going to start moving across the map because he wants to be able to get some spots on these members from EC.
I'm feeling like maybe they want a cap at this point. A. Martin, the way he's moving, it looks like he's going to wait for his battle buddy here, B-Gug. B-Gug, once they join him, I'm thinking maybe we'll see some kind of cap fast, or maybe they'll move up and try and get some nice proxy spotting. If they can get some proxy spotting along the 6th line, that could be exactly what Cunninghams needs to get out some nice damage, even up this match, and really put it into their favor. They do have both T1s for Ehrmagerd Caernervern down, so they've got a really distinct advantage here as far as numbers of tanks and their ability to flex around the map.
What do you think about the Cunninghams actually receding all the way back and then moving all around? Like we see what's going on.
Oh,
right
wow. Oh, I see that right now. Yeah, that could be... Oh, I see what might happen. Okay. Oh, but it looks like we might see if someone spotted Trouble, too. Is spotted in the KV-5. And just in time, we've got these autoloaders sitting here. Perfect position to destroy Trouble as he moves out into the open, smashing all cover.
Trouble is going to continue to move down, and all of a sudden, Ehrmagerd Caernervern making a massive blitz towards red base. Only person remaining is Urtai from Ehrmagerd Caernervern, hanging over by A5. Meanwhile, Ehrmagerd Caernervern is going to take some shots, but it comes at a cost as Silent Demise is able to finish off Kemsey, and that's a huge trade for Cunninghams.
Yep. And now in the north, we're actually going to see a cap begin. Both IS-3s, Trireme and Militant, getting on cap to cover for A. Martin and B-Gug. This is perfect for Cunninghams. They're getting great damage out because Ehrmagerd Caernervern has split their team in two, and at the same time exposed themselves to a cap fast that you can't. They are not set up with a crossfire to deal with this.
They are not, and Trouble 2 is the only member alive from Ehrmagerd Caernervern in the south side. He's getting flanked, and KB5, sure, he got lots of hit points, but he's not able to handle both T69 and AMX-50. As the last couple members from Ehrmagerd Caernervern trying frantically to stop the cap, but there's still 4 members alive from Cunninghams that can dish out lots of pain.
Yep. And at the same time, we see that is King Kong here has great shots on the back of Vect, who can't get any cover from anyone. No matter where he goes, he is exposed to someone right now.
Well, a shot does miss. Never mind. Second shot is good. Vect, down to his last few hit points, does die as well, which means the Cunninghams will tie up the series 1-1. And that's going to, well, I mean, they did pick the map, and that's the kind of pace that they wanted to play. Ehrmagerd Caernervern was not able to influence the map as much as they did. They were very reactive from the beginning.
Yeah, that was a really interesting show of the way Ehrmagerd Caernervern doesn't know how to act when it slows down. It looks like they've really lost a lot of that potency that we were seeing on open maps so they could be so aggressive.
Over in the red side of the map, the north part, we have the Cunninghams currently tied 1-1 with their opponent. Then we have Ehrmagerd Caernervern, and they're doing what we've normally come to expect, Greetorp, which is all men down the center.
And this isn't looking good. AMX 1390s, Commander J, and Silent Demise going to be caught out here. But here's the big difference. T69's on that top with the WZ-132. They're already lining up shots, anticipating this tactic.
3 shots missed between Gomes and Trouble 2. Jay finally taking some hits, but now it's an all-out brawl. Now Gomes going to try to get in there and try to do as much damage. Silent Demise taking a couple shots as well, but it seems for now Cunningham has gotten the better end of the trade thus far.
Beautifully done, going over to the train tracks. As soon as they start clipping, they're going to cross it so they're not exposed.
Trouble 2 also taking big shots. The first person to drop is Gomes, as he is going to be taken down by Silent Demise. And Trouble 2 is now going to be taken out as well by King Kong. And this is a really aggressive strategy coming from Ehrmagerd Caernervern, but it's working the opposite effect intended.
It's really not working. It looks like we've got Cunninghams perfectly prepared for this strat. They've got tanks off in the west here on the hill. We got Bibuguk, King Kong, and Militant all completely prepped for this. They have taken great positions to fire from. Bibuguk, Militant is in a nice raised position, so he is not going to have any trouble getting any shots around here. It's a really nice vantage here.
And Rasta, he's gotten some spots, but he's not able to do much, as the only person he can see is Trireme. And all members from Cunninghams, as you guys saw in a nice checkered formation, is able to shut down anybody in a line format with good crossfire. Ehrmagerd Caernervern going to have to shift, but keep in mind that they already have some shots taken, as Tommy Cannon is already less than 1/2 of his life.
What is he down to right now? Wow.
Tommy Cannon is down to just 478 hit points left.
That is 2 hits from just about anything, and he is gone. That is too bad for him. Everyone on Cunningham's team is still alive and barely damaged. I mean, Silent Demise at this point, the lowest one I think on the team at 450. Oh, hey, Kemsey is lit by Trireme here.
And Trireme is going to drop extremely quickly, but that's 1 shot of the T69 that the Cunningham does not have to worry about. Militant and King Kong are going to hold, Bibuguk and King Kong are going to hold the line over at E6 while Cunningham's rotates. Now, Ehrmagerd Caernervern is not out of this yet. There are some pretty weak members of Cunninghams, especially since they're in the 1390s. It's almost sometimes a guaranteed pen, depends on, well, actually, it's not a guaranteed pen if it's dependent on something.
Very difficult to pen these. You could, the only time I'd see bounces happening are, you know, you get that angle that is just so sharp that not even your overmatch really counts, or into the tracks. So
but
those
they do have
kinds
to
of
be
shots.
careful.
They do need to.
Have very fragile tanks that can go down any second.
Oh yeah, 1390s I wouldn't expect bounces, not especially with any of these lineups. T69s though, with that really weird slopey armor, you could get some cool bounces. Although A. Martin has begun the cap. Blue base is up to 25% cap.
And that would help if they can somehow jump A. Martin before Cunninghams can get down there, but we do have the mobility advantage from the Cunninghams as they can get the 1390s closer down. A couple shots fired into the middle of the field. DeRosta also still trying to get in position, but it seems that Militant is just trying to distract Ehrmagerd Caernervern from being able to
He is going to spot Ertai and Tommy Cannon right here. And they're lit. Tommy Cannon gets targeted. Someone's throwing tees out.
He gets hit. He can't take one more shot, and he does. King Kong is able to finish it off. And that might put Ehrmagerd Caernervern in an unwinnable position as Silent Demise is able to finish off DeRosta, and all that remains is Kenzie and Ertai.
Yeah, I don't see them being able to pull this one out here. T-69s are great tanks, and this is an open map where it's totally possible to do that kind of thing. But with this aim, with 8 Barton on Cap, 76%, 20 seconds left, they have to not only stop Cap, they have to then kill everyone else. And Cunninghams does not seem all that intent on even attacking at this point. They know they've got the win. They'll keep everyone in Overwatch positions. These T-69s have no chance. There's Kemsey getting targeted. You see that little target going up? That is them teeing their targets. Ertai gets exposed down to 473 here.
That's enough for a couple more shots. Militant coming up. He could finish off Ertai. And nope, Silent Demise again going for the kill secure. The Cunninghams caps out Ehrmagerd Caernervern and shuts down their aggressive strategy on Pro Rovka.
Wow, that is the first time they've had that shut down, and that's the first time we've seen that strat, I think, on Prokhorovka in the regular season, right?
Yeah, that's right. Normally we don't see too much aggression. In fact, we see quite the opposite. We see people turning up in corners. And Tommy Cannon kind of made a joke about that, how he likes those strategies right in the pregame interview. But we all know the truth is that Ehrmagerd Caernervern likes to be really aggressive. And instead, it did not work out in their favor for this time.
If you keep using the same strat over and over, someone's going to counter it eventually. And it looks like it's already been countered, so they're going to have to fall back on some different strategy in order to continue doing that. Although I don't expect that that strat's completely out the window, because it's still applicable sometimes.
Welcome to Himmelsdorf, where we see the Cunninghams already moving up towards the eastern part of the map. That is the red team. In the north side. In the south side, we have Ehrmagerd Caernervern currently down 1-2. They are taking the west side. Now, it's an interesting switch because, like you said, Greetorp, in previous matches, that's not usually the case in north-south side in terms of dynamic on Himmelsdorf.
A lot of metagaming going on right now. I mean, for them to focus so much on the hill tells me they want to actually get some sort of jump and an advantage in some sort of screen cap. And it's really apparent, and they're banking on Ehrmagerd Caernervern being passive on the west side.
Maybe shut down the potential T-69 that likes to creep up there. We've seen games in the past where Tommy Cannon likes to get up there and rain hell on whoever's able to pass by. Ehrmagerd Caernervern, meanwhile, they're not doing that at all. Instead, they're gearing over towards the station. And that's going to be set up by Vect and DeRosta, both spotting the hill and the station as well.
Oh. T1 fight going down. Gomes will, Gomes will get knocked out without even doing a single point of damage.
He was not prepared for that bush.
No, he was not.
That he should be. That is, wow. And then Caster Starwind gets DM Gomes in return, but Ertai and Trouble 2 do get spotted from that. So we do have indication of the location of Ehrmagerd's forces to Cunninghams, although Cunningham still doesn't know. Well, sorry, Ehrmagerd still does not know where Cunninghams has placed their main force.
But look at how aggressive Ehrmagerd Caernervern is being right now. Trouble 2 and Tommy Cannon already moving up the 2 line.
At the same time, Cunninghams hasn't been phased at all. Ooh, they get the spot on the second, on the hill rather, as 2 members from Cunninghams has been exposed. Trireme and Militant, the IS-3s, are still holding down Tank Alley just in case there was a big push, but now all of a sudden we might have a scenario where both teams are pushing really aggressively. No, the Cunninghams are starting to withdraw because they realize Ehrmagerd Caernervern has been really aggressive, and now Ertai has been spotted by Trireme and Militant, which should tip off Cunninghams of what's going on.
Yep, right now I'm expecting to see a retreat here, and here it is. Yep, we've got 5100s returning to the base. Silent Demise leading the way.
Have they been too slow though here, Randall?
No, they will get there in just enough time. They'll have plenty of time to stop the cap here, as here we see Ertai is spotted. I don't know who else is on cap though. Silent Demise 5 seconds out from cap. He'll probably come right around this corner, and he's going to just unload on whoever he can.
Kemsey and Ertai stacking up. DeRosta being in the rear, trying to see if he can hold it down. Militant and Silent Demise will be the ones to first arrive to the scene. Silent Demise taking a big shot from Trouble. Big alpha damage. Silent Demise taking another shot. Good job thus far from Ehrmagerd Caernervern, as we still have 35 seconds on the clock. now Trouble 2 kind of use that hold down position, trying to rain down. He does manage to take out Silent Demise, but Urtai was also taken out by Commander J. Cunninghams needs to get the reset, and they do. Kemsey and Tommy Cannon were not able to hold that position.
Militant here is going to be proxy spotting Tommy Cannon. Kemsey and Tommy have just given up on trying to cap now. The pressure, it's just a straight up fight. Trouble's in a great hold down. I really like this.
And meanwhile, during this entire time, Militant will have to fight 1v2, but DeRosta has been able to fight Vect, having a T1 fight, winning back at home, so no counter cap option. Militant's side is exposed, and Kemsey will be able to finish off, so 4 members down from Cunninghams. Ehrmagerd Caernervern has the man advantage and a good hit point pool as well. Almost none of them has taken damage other than Kemsey getting shot by B-Guck.
Fantastic job here, and they set up perfectly. They knew exactly how their enemy was going to come and return to stop the cap. Commander J here is now trying to move in order to stop DeRosta here. He's just, all he wants to do is get the kill. The cap is still going, though. His red base is up to, it was down to 12 seconds, 10 seconds left.
10 seconds is not going to be enough, even if Commander J does live. He does manage to take out DeRosta. The last few seconds are going to belong to Ehrmagerd Caernervern, as Vect is going to distract Commander J, set his reticles on the red. As red base is captured, Ehrmagerd Caernervern ties it up 2-2. It's a nice cap fast strategy, which ended up turning to be a brawl, which ended up turning to be a cap fast.
Which ended up kind of brawling and cap fasting, and
it was a brawl fast.
Yeah, it was interesting. Using that cap pressure, Ehrmagerd Caernervern was able to really set the tone for the whole well, they were able to decide where the fight would happen.
Yeah.
So they set that pace. Trouble
the
in
nice
that hold down.
Was
oh yeah,
really
and then
good.
DeRosta ready for that flank. That who was that? That was an IS-3, I think, that was going to flank, and then DeRosta was waiting there for him.
I like that Kemsey and Tommy Cannon were also able to use Urtai's dead carcass as like a way to play against some of the members from Cunninghams as well, and they were able to really position themselves right. But we don't want to steal the analysis opportunities from Greetor for too long. Andre, what do you also observe that you have left to say about that match on Himmelsdorf?
You know, I felt like the game was almost over before any shots were fired. I shouldn't say that any shots of the main battle was fired, and it's because of the brilliant position of Trouble 2.
Yeah.
That hold down position was just free damage the whole time.
Welcome back, everybody, to WGL. We're currently in the middle of a series between Cunninghams and Ehrmagerd Caernervern. It's tied 2-2, and Ruinberg will be the last map, Randall. I'm really excited. Who's going to take it, man? Who's going to take Game 5?
I don't know, man. We've seen this. It's so close.
Make
I
the
don't
hard
know.
pick.
The hard pick. I don't know if EC can do it right now.
You're going to go with Cunninghams.
I'm going to go with Cunninghams.
Well, I'm going to go with EC. That's going to Himmelsdorf, or Ruinberg, rather, for battle number 5. Himmelsdorf, Ruinberg, kind of sounds the same. I mean, it's an honest mistake, right?
It's
the map with the broken buildings.
They all have broken buildings.
It's the map with the slightly more destroyed buildings. Greetorp, you're drawing on the screen. What's going on, man?
Yep. Something that we kind of expected, of course. Ehrmagerd Caernervern going over to the west side, whereas Cunninghams are going over to the east side just based on their spawning locations.
Trouble
Very
2.
early pick, though.
Yeah, Trouble 2 already gets the jump on Caster Starwind. And now we see a massive push, just like Greetorp has motioned over towards the western block, the city block. Now, Cunningham is what was positioning for an East Delta Village hold with using some of the bushes, but instead, it's a cap fast, and I expect nothing less of Ehrmagerd Caernervern.
Look at this positioning by Trouble 2. This is really audacious, I have to say. The WZ-132 going to go all the way over to this little town group of buildings over here, and this is trying to screen the cap. Gomes is his battle buddy, of course.
A little bit of disorganization as Gomes is running into Trouble 2, but over in A7, Silent Demise has to fight 1v2, a couple of missed shots from Silent Demise, but he does manage to get some help there from King Kong, as now the members from Cunningham are coming back to help. Meanwhile, over onto the flag, DeRosta is facing off against Militant with a couple of help. Gomes trying to hold off as long as they can, but It's not really working out too well for Ehrmagerd Caernervern, at least right now, in terms of the numbers advantage. Gomes will drop soon, but Peacock misses a big shot on Gomes. That might be what Ehrmagerd Caernervern needs. 5 seconds on the clock. Can they really end this here? 4 seconds left as Ehrmagerd Caernervern trying to finish off the match in exciting fashion. Red base is captured. Ehrmagerd Caernervern gets the fast cap on Ruenberg in under just 2 minutes of play. What an exciting finish, as right now we're focusing so much on the action that we didn't realize that there was such little time on the clock left. Phenomenal job by EC.
That was really great screen right there with Gomes and Trouble. You know, I didn't expect them to live, especially if the two T-69s and the 5100 stayed to fight them, but they couldn't because they had other things to deal with. They had to deal with the cap, and we saw. I wanted to talk about that 110 I saw with the 122, but there's no time because
the action got right underway.
The action just started, so there was no time for any of that nonsense.
All right, so let's kind of like reset a little bit and even watch about what just happened. All I could see on my screen right here, as you can go to the instant replay, is that Duras and Militant were fighting in the front, but I didn't realize there's so many members of Ehrmagerd Caernervern still stacked there because Gomes was just trying to stall, and that's why in the end Peacock directed his attention because the time on the clock was so little. Originally, it just jumped from 15 to 5 because of the 3-man capped, and Kenzie, Effect, very big proponents there of stacking a lot of time there for Ehrmagerd Caernervern.
Yeah, that was a really good job there. Those T1s didn't take any hits. I think one of the IS-3s. Did any of the IS-3s go without getting hit? Maybe one of them, right?
I couldn't really tell. Maybe we can watch it again.
It's hard to. It's really hard to tell.
Let's
so
watch
much
that
chaos.
again. An instant replay of the instant replay. That'd be fantastic. Let's go ahead and also toss it over to Greetorp to see what he has to say about the match.
It was nice. I mean, Cunninghams, I felt like, did the right things. They took out Trouble really early on. In that WZ-132, they left the AMX. I believe it was a 5100, but they left the other AMX knowing that, okay, your round isn't going to matter. You're going to deplete everything, and then I can actually do stuff for you're going to be useless for quite a long time, just about a half minute. So they ignored him and tried to reset the cap as fast as possible. They just couldn't get into position. And what that tells me is the opening that Cunninghams did doesn't defend well against these fast caps. They're not completely saying, okay, we'll be fine against these, kind of assuming that their position is going to hold them true. But when it came down to it, it was just they were too slow to get on there, and it's because they went way too far out too fast for that opening.
Too. They could have been charging the Delta Village like initially off the bat, and they would have been way out of position to do anything. Yeah. It could have been worse. I think Cunningham still was able to respond really quick. King Kong, of course, rushing back to get into the scene, but even then, good job by Gomes, good job by Trouble 2 to stall as long as they can.
Frodan, it's not a good job. It's a great job by Trouble 2.
It is a great job. The president of the fan club has spoken.
Yep.
Do you have any last words before we head off into commercial break, Randall, about the series? That was really entertaining.
That was really good. Yeah,
I
like it when it goes, 2 and 3 because it shows that both teams are really good. They really understand each other.
And they respond to each other.
Exactly. That was just, it was very nice play from both teams. And I expect to see Cunningham still perform well as this goes on. They showed they definitely deserve to be here.
Of course. So good luck to Cunninghams in the future, but Ehrmagerd Caernervern will take the first series. Again, like we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, Trouble 2 is actually playing like 50 feet behind us at the back of the studio, so he will get him for an interview later tonight as we get him all sorted out in the back and with all his congratulations. I'm sure Greetorp's giving him a hug right now after that great series that was played, ending in a 3-2 victory on Ruenberg. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to get our third match underway very soon. It's going to be Fulcrum versus Bear Huggers over in the Alpha Conference Division. Don't go anywhere. We'll return right after this.